Okay, so what you're looking at are my record predictions, and I did a whole video actually going through every game and who I think would win. But I had to delete it because I found out that Deshaun Watson was going to be serving 11 games as opposed to the 6 I thought he was doing. And it only, I had to go back and it only changed one game. So they ended up losing one game extra because they go through a tough stretch where they're gonna lose no matter what. And when he comes back, there are a lot of games where they can win. But basically, from what you can see, AFC East, the Bills are gonna win this division. It's not gonna be close, in my opinion. And then the Dolphins will be in second place. But the problem is, the Colts are gonna make it, and then this division is a sucker. And then this whole division is gonna make it. So the Raiders, Broncos, Chiefs, Chargers, this entire division will make it the playoffs. So that's why the are going to miss, and the Ravens and Browns are going to miss, because the Bengals are going to make it. Steelers are going to have a down year, and the Ravens are going to miss it. Browns, they're going to be missing it because Deshaun was suspended. And honestly, if Deshaun was there all year, I still think they lose the games that they lose. It's just those teams are better than them that they lose to. And the Raiders and Broncos, Chiefs, Chargers, they're going to be splitting a lot of games between each other in that division, but they're going to be beating a lot of teams outside of the division. So this is probably the best division in the league right now. And the second best is probably, I'd probably have to go right here, probably the second best division. And then if you look at the NFC, the Eagles and the Commanders are both making it. The Buccaneers are going to make it. The Packers, the Vikings are going to make it. The Niners and the Rams are going to make it. So, I want to circle out my playoff teams now. So, I'm doing this early so people can quote me and people can be like, oh, whatever. He didn't pick these teams all year. He's switching scores. Nope. I'm gonna keep this up all year, so anybody that can be like, oh, you made shitty picks or you made good picks, whatever, they're here. So that's one playoff team. Actually, I'm just gonna make a check mark. I'll make it better. Let's put check mark. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's one more. Niners. So yeah, we're gonna do a check mark. I don't know why I circled it. It's the first idea that came to my head. So yeah, we'll take that out and just put a check mark. So those are my playoff teams. Rams, alright. And on this side, Raiders, Broncos, Chiefs, Chargers, Bengals, Colts, Bills. So those are my playoff teams. I don't know. Maybe I'm probably gonna be off on the wins and losses. Like, there's no way I'm gonna get that completely correct. If I do, I should win some type of award if I actually do. But there's no way. There's no way in hell that I'm gonna get this entire board correct. But I think I'm gonna get the playoff teams correctly though. Like, I really believe that these are gonna be our playoff teams, based on how everything is set up right now, based on talent, the rig, just everything. If Antonio Brown ends up on the Cowboys, will that make them a little bit better? Maybe. Does it make them a playoff team? Probably not, because they'd have to win 13 games, and I don't see them winning 13 games. Whoops, I checked off the Cowboys. I meant to check off the Commanders. Whoops. The Commanders are that other team, not the Cowboys. The Cowboys are going to have a downish year. They're going to be mediocre, middle of the road. That's what they are. We're gonna have the Texans are gonna be winless, and that's about it. Our one win team is going to be the Seahawks and Lions, and then 2 wins Steelers. Because the problem with the Steelers, they don't have a quarterback. They have the Kenny Pickett is a rookie. I don't trust him. There's just too many question marks on that team. Too many question marks. They lost receivers. Who's their running back? Who even their receivers? James Washington, okay. You got Claypool, but like I just don't know. They don't have really a tight end. Their defense is questionable. There's too many questions on the Steelers. There's not enough answers. The Ravens have a lot of questions too, but they have a quarterback. And they have a backup quarterback and a decent defense. So that's something to rely on. They have a running game and a tight end, and they drafted guys. So I trust them more. The Browns have a good defense, and they have receivers. Chargers, they have it all. Chiefs have it all. Broncos, they don't have it all, but they're very good. They have every position. Everyone is a good player, and they have a Hall of Fame quarterback. So that's what makes them a contender. They're not going to be a Super Bowl team, but they're a playoff team. The Raiders are completely a Super Bowl team. I would not be surprised if they make it to the Super Bowl. Dude, they have Crosby at end, and then they have the other dude from the Cardinals who was on the Patriots. What's his name? I can't think of his name. He's very good though. So they're gonna have two guys rushing off the edge. I can't think of the guy's name. Chandler Jones. So they're gonna have Chandler Jones and my man Crosby going off the edge, and they already have decent safeties and corners. Their linebackers, Denzel Perriman. They have a few guys. Like they're gonna have pressure on the quarterback. So they have a quarterback. They have someone to rush the quarterback, and they have receivers. They have Devontae Adams, right? They have Hunter Renfro, right? And they also have the tight end, who's an all-pro tight end, Darren Waller. So they're gonna be ready to go. Let's not forget that Derek Carr and the receiver over there, they played in college for 3, 4 years together, so they know each other. This is gonna be exciting to watch. And then we have the Colts. We already know they got Matt Ryan. They got a few good guys over there. They got the running game and defense. So they're going to definitely win this division. I don't see anyone beating them out. The Titans would be the best team to beat them out, but the Titans lost everyone. They lost their receivers. All they have is Derrick Henry. We already know that Ryan Tannehill, you can't trust him. You just can't trust a guy like him. He's gonna just do something stupid. He's gonna turn the ball over. You can't rely on him. He hasn't proven a dang thing in 12 years, and he's been on 2 different teams, being the man, the starter. Most guys don't get opportunities like he continues to get. Now we got the Bills. Excuse me, the Dolphins. This team is completely revamped. They got Tyreek Hill, so that makes them a viable offense. Just Tyreek Hill alone, because they can just they can just throw up bubble screens and run the ball. They can move him all over the place. So that is just a problem. He just makes Tua better just because of the threat of being able to score on any play. So that alone, and they have Jalen Waddle. So those two guys are going to create issues for their teams, guys. And they also have Gesicki at tight end. So this team is really ready to go. They also have Cedric Wilson. They got a bunch of guys. They got the other receiver from the Chiefs. Miami's going to be good. They got an all-pro corner. Like, this team is going to be good. The Jets have no one, and their quarterback hurt his knee, so he might be out a few weeks. But Mike White is good, and so is Joe Flacco, but they're not good enough to carry that load. It's a large load to carry. The Pats, we already know they made no moves this year. They just sat around. I just don't see them winning more than 8, 9 games. I just made it 7. I just don't really see them as that powerhouse anymore. And the Bills, they got Von Miller, and they have their team from before intact. So they just got better. I just see them taking this division. I don't know if they win the Super Bowl, but they're a very good football team. Great defensive team. Offense, they're very solid. They get it done on third down. They get it done on every down, and they beat you up on defense. So that's what I love about them. Josh Allen changed the culture. Now they're a big, strong team that plays in the winter. So like it's tough to win in Baltimore or in Buffalo now. It's different out there now. Now you go to the Giants. They have nothing. They're going with Daniel Jones. We know who he is, and he is a Joe Schmo. Shouldn't be a starter. They're gonna be a terrible team. Commanders, Carson Wentz has proven that he can win 13 games. He did it with the Philadelphia Eagles. I know he had that down-ish year last year. They should have made the playoffs, but there were a lot of things that were wrong with that team. He was just basically trying the best he could with what he had, and it wasn't much. All he had was a running game and no receivers that really were attackers of the football. But he has Scary Terry this year. I think he's going to show us a few things. When you give him at least one star receiver, Carson Wentz shows you that he can ball. And I promise you, he's going to show us something this year. The Cowboys, they made no moves this offseason. Ezekiel Elliott's getting older. He's not moving like he used to. They got rid of Amari Cooper. Michael Gallup's always hurt. It's all on CeeDee Lamb, and their defense is okay. Is Trayvon Diggs going to get another 10 interceptions? That remains to be seen. Micah Parsons, is he going to break out and get another 20-something sacks again? Remains to be seen. It's hard to do. DeMarcus Lawrence, is he going to stay healthy? Remains to be seen. I just don't see them being better than 9-9 or 9-8. I just don't see it. I don't see them winning more than 9-10 games, honestly. Eagles, they're going to be good. They have Gardner Minshew if my man Jalen Hurts decides to poop the bed. So either way, they've got a light schedule. Their schedule is very, very generous. I really see them winning at least 11 games. I gave it 13. That doesn't matter. They're still going to make the playoffs either way. But we'll see what happens at the end of the year. I'm going to keep this up here, and I'm going to, however bad I do with these picks is what it's going to be. And I'm also going to do weekly picks too, so that might change things too. But I'm not going to change the records that I put up there. Now we have the Panthers. We already know they don't have much. They have Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, but their defense, a lot of holes. Christian McCaffrey's always hurt. Falcons. Mariota is a baller, bro. If Mariota can give you a full season, let's say Mariota stays healthy the entire year. Let's say it's very unlikely, probably will not happen, but let's say it does happen. They literally can vie for a playoff spot. If Mariota can stay healthy, because they have that London guy, the receiver they drafted, he's 6'6", and they have Kyle Pitts, who is also 6'6". All right, they have other guys that they can get to help. They have Cordero Patterson. Okay, so they have a bunch of playmakers on offense. If imagine they had Calvin Ridley and or Julio Jones on this team still, this would be the best team on offense in the league. But Julio Jones at his neighbors. But the Falcons are going to be a dangerous offensive team, if nothing else. They're going to put up points. I think they're going to be very dangerous on offense. But on defense, that's where they're going to be leaving a lot to be left desired because they don't have much on defense. So we'll see what happens with them. The Saints, it's another offensive team with no defense. The Saints really have no defense. I mean, they have a few guys, a few big names. They got Lattimore. They got Cameron Jordan. You know, they got a couple good names. But as a whole, as a defense, they're not that good. And on offense, they don't have a superstar quarterback. They have Jameis Winston. We know who he is, what he is. I just don't see them winning more than 7 games. That's what Jameis Winston is. He's a middle-of-the-road quarterback. He wins you a few games against the bad teams, can't beat the good teams. That's Jameis Winston, guys. Buccaneers, it's Tom Brady. It's his league. He runs the league until he truly retires, until he hangs up the cleats. And even when he hangs up the cleats, he's gonna own a team. So it's gonna be around what he wants. It's all about Tom Brady. So Buccaneers, yeah, they have everything. They got three good receivers, Hall of Fame type receivers. They have a running game. They got one of the top five defense. What else can we say about them? They still got great tight ends, even though Gronk isn't there. I can't say enough about them. So yeah, that might be the Super Bowl champs. You just never know. It depends on how Tom wants to end it. Does Tom want to win a Super Bowl there? Or does he want to go to another team and win another Super Bowl? I'll be the first player ever to win a Super Bowl on three different teams. No one's ever done that before. I think he wants to do that. But anyway, Bears, young second year guy. They don't have much. They traded their best receiver, basically sold him to the Rams for a bag of chips. So yeah, the Bears are gonna feel that hit. Lions, they have nothing really, but they have Jared Goff, former number one overall pick. That's nice. And then the Packers, they're gonna go through some growing pains. They're not gonna do anything in the playoffs. They're gonna win. I think I went a little generous on their record. They'll probably win more closer to 11 games. Probably be 11-6. But I gave them 13 because they'll lose some games because of those rookies. But Aaron Rodgers eventually he'll get it done. The rig usually favors him in the regular season. It's the playoffs. That's where you got to worry about him. Vikings. This team, I think they're finally gonna make the playoffs this year. If they don't make it, it's gonna be the Cowboys. I think. If the Vikings end up crapping the bed, which they shouldn't, because they have two good receivers, they have a running game. It's the same team. They have all their guys coming back. Their receivers, their running back, their quarterback, their tight end is coming back. Their old line's coming back. Their defense is coming back, minus Anthony Barr. Like, they should win these games. They should finally get to the playoffs. And if they don't, they got to let that coach go. I hate calling for another man's job, but it's been 6 years at this point. Like, you haven't made the playoffs. If you can't make the playoffs this year, buddy, you got to go. I'm sorry. Give another man a chance. There's another man should be able to bring this team to the playoffs. Rig or no rig. All right, final division. Niners. So the Niners, they got Trey Lance starting. They're going to let him take the helm. Jimmy Garoppolo is his backup as of right now. They have not traded him. So Jimmy is still there if anything happens. So they have two really good quarterbacks. They're in position to make it to the Super Bowl again, guys. Or close to the Super Bowl again, whatever. They're in position, guys. They may not win 14, but they sure as hell can. Based on the schedule, based on who they were playing, when they were playing them, where they were playing them. I feel like the Niners, think about it. They can rush you with their front four, and they don't need to blitz you. Their front four can get to you guys. They have a great, probably the best front four in the league, including their D tackles. I'm saying all front four guys are the best. And then they have decent linebackers, and their corners and DBs are pretty decent. And then their offense, we already know that they can play. They got Debo, they got Trey, running backs. The way Kyle Shanahan runs that offense, run first with all the misdirection, they're going to put up points and play defense, guys. Beware of the 49ers. The Cardinals, they're going to regret giving Kyler that contract. I don't think he's going to live up to it. I don't think they're going to have a good year this year, man. I really don't. DeAndre Hopkins, he's going to be out, for the first half of the year, right? So what is he going to do? We saw what he was able to not do without him. He was basically handicapped without DeAndre Hopkins. So he's going to be handicapped without him half the year. Clearly he doesn't know how to use AJ Green. AJ Green's a jump ball type of receiver. He never throws the ball up to him. He just never does. It's like he doesn't know who he is. It's kind of sickening. I wish AJ Green would go to another team. Like, I would love for him to play with Tom Brady or someone else. Someone that actually knows how to use a jump ball receiver. Because AJ Green is wasting his years over there, man. He really is. Like, oh, man, I'm not going to speak too much on that. But people that know him and know how he plays, they know he's being wasted over there. And he still has a little left in the tank, and he's wasting years with the Cardinals. If AJ Green was with the Rams, oh my God. he would revitalize his career. If he was anywhere else with one of these top 10 quarterbacks, you guys would realize that this guy is a force to be reckoned with. But now we go to the Rams, defending champs. They're built perfectly still. They're built the same way. I mean, they lost OBJ and Von Miller, but they're still a good team. And who's to say they can't get OBJ back? But the point is, they're going to make the playoffs. The only thing I worry about is who's going to be running the ball for them. They don't have much of a running game. So I don't really know if you can rely on them all the time, but they have Matt Stafford. They have their coach still. Their coach is the best play caller in the league. All right, their defense is still damn good. They still got a couple receivers. They stole Allen Robinson from the Bears. So the Rams are gonna be just fine, guys. They're gonna be just fine. They got Cooper Kupp. They all will be fine. Seahawks are gonna be SOL because they didn't put forth their due diligence. They didn't get a quarterback, and Geno Smith or that other guy from the Broncos are gonna be leading them out, and they'll be lucky to win a game. I think I gave them a win against. I think it was the Texans, maybe, but I don't remember. But they might pull out a win. They may not, but we'll see. They have Tyler Lockett. They got that running back, the third-year guy. I forget his name. And then they got DK Metcalf. So they have some guys that can make plays. They just don't have a guy to throw the ball. And even if they did, there's no one to protect that guy to throw the ball. So that's why Russell Wilson left. It's not like they didn't have playmakers. It's because their defense wasn't playing properly and they weren't protecting. He was running for his life every time. But yeah, that's the breakdown, guys. This is